Got a fun one to show you today, and it's Caverns of Mars Recharged. This is a remake of a classic 1981 Atari Exchange Program game, which was later put on disc as well as cartridge back in the day. And here's the original gameplay here. But this is totally different, and it adds lots of modern features. This is part of the Recharge series. If you're not familiar, Atari's done about 8 of these. This is the 8th Recharge game that they've offered. This is $10 and available on Steam, Epic Game Store, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Series S and X, Switch, and the Atari VCS. This is the 4th game launched on the Atari VCS this year for those keeping track. So sit back, relax. Here we go. All right, going to jump right in. Has 30 missions and a cool achievements. Homage to David Bowie, love that. And there's lots of challenges with these missions. Some of these missions are really difficult. I played about half a dozen of them, and I'm going to jump right in and show you the arcade game. There is local co-op. There's bonuses that you can activate, and there's pros and cons of doing that. But yes, I love what they've done with this remake, and here we go. Gonna jump right in, and I've played several games, and I've gotten kind of the gameplay down a bit, but essentially you're diving into multiple levels of Mars, and you have to progress down to the core. And gosh, this game can be really challenging. So it's a lot of action combined with resource management, where there's on the left hand side is your health bar, and on the right side is your fuel. And so it's really important that you combine both their strategies. You choose different upgrades for your ship, and there's pros and cons to each one. So it's a balance of being able to withstand a hit combined with not running out of ammo, which is super important, because if you run out of ammo, you can't fire, and essentially you're done. A lot of people compare the original to like a vertical scramble, and I think that's a good analogy. But yeah, overall, I'm really liking this game. My biggest complaint with all the Recharge games is I wish it included the original and a little bit of history of the original to tell people, you know, what made the original significant and why they chose it to remake it. That's always been kind of a complaint of mine, as I wish, you know, for $10, you know, they definitely could throw in the original, as, you know, a lot of people probably haven't played it. Anyways, getting back to the Recharge game, I do think this is a good remake. It really added some modern upgrades to the original. I like the art style, love the soundtrack. I'm a big fan of Megan McDuffie, and just love this overall. Had not completely completed a progression to get to the core, and definitely want to do that as I play more. Pretty challenging game, lots of different enemies. As you can see here, my fuel was getting pretty low, and definitely picking up those fuel icons. And my health is really good in this run, so that's one thing. On the left hand side, you know, I have plenty of health. My fuel is a little bit low, so there's always pros and cons of, do you want to increase your fuel intake, or do you want to upgrade your health? And so there's lots of different upgrades. Each time you get to the next substage, you can choose an upgrade. You can sacrifice even an upgrade too. And so I'm getting closer here and progressing farther down into Mars. And so yeah, I really enjoyed this game. Pretty challenging, definitely going to go back, and it's that kind of arcade style that I have really enjoyed playing on my Nintendo Switch, Atari VCS. Those are typically the games that I'm going to be playing. For people curious, I am playing this on the Nintendo Switch, but I know that there's some loyal VCS owners that are watching this, and I think this is a good fit for the VCS. Nice to see that Atari's still supporting their platform. 4th game this year, as I mentioned before, and there's more planned, and I will be covering them as I go on, as well as covering the VCS, kind of my thoughts about it 6 months into this year. So yes, really liking this game. Probably one of my more favorite Recharge games. I really like Yars as well, the Yars Recharge game. And if you like what you see on my channel, you may want to consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. There's about 60% of viewers that haven't subscribed yet, and I do content all the time, everything from Atari to Xbox, so you may want to consider that. But yeah, the best thing I like about this game is when you clear a sub-level, then you can then choose between a power-up, and there's pros and cons to each choice, and it's not, it doesn't, you don't feel like overpowered. It's always like that resource management part, and I think it really adds a dimension to the gameplay, and I think it's well done. It's definitely unique, and it makes it kind of stand out as not just, you know, a Caverns of Mars game. I think it really adds an element, a diversity that was needed with the original, as well as a major graphics upgrade. Yeah, I'm having a really good run here and getting close to my high score. There is high score boards, as well as, you know, it's good that games like this have that. You know, as a longtime gamer, you know, there's a lot of people that play for a high score, and it keeps you coming back to see if you can beat your high score and compare it with leaderboards as well, I do believe, on like Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, and more. So yes, for sure, this game has a lot to offer. And you know, it's nice that Atari is remembering an 8-bit game. You know, there's a lot of 8-bit enthusiasts. Atari famous computer line that was around a long time, and I think sometimes those enthusiasts feel forgotten from Atari, because it's always like a 2600 upgrade or remaster. So it's nice to see this game as an homage to the Atari 8-bit line. I would have liked Atari to go a step further with just a little blurb about what makes this game important and why they remastered it, and even having the original, at least information about Caverns of Mars would have been nice. And so I'll continue to advocate for that, as I think it's something that Atari could do, and it would be easy to add as well, maybe with a patch or something. But anyways, that's a small gripe, because I think overall this is an excellent choice for $10. I think the price is right, and I think it's one that many people are going to enjoy. I know I'm enjoying it, having a really good run here, and it's really nice to see Atari continuing. You know, there was, I think, some news in this last year, especially at the end, about, you know, kind of where Atari was at, and this shows that they're continuing to move forward and making some good choices. I think this is an Atari, I think, that people can get behind. You know, making these affordable, bite-sized games, $10, and an homage to, you know, a previous title that maybe people grew up with, and if you didn't, I think this is a good choice. And an awesome game. You know, it's kind of a vertical descending shooter, and I like it, and I like what they've done with this. Now the two things that really add some variety to this game are the co-op, the local co-op, which I haven't checked out, as well as the 30 missions. Now, these missions, as I mentioned before, pretty challenging. This is one of the missions, and I found some of them to be pretty tough. But, you know, if you want to just get better at the game, I recommend checking out and playing the missions, especially if you aren't progressing in the arcade game. The missions are actually going to make you be a better player, as this game's pretty fast. Another strategy that I recommend is that you can fire your weapon, and it'll slow down the progression of your ship. However, you want to do that sparingly, as you have limited resources. This is $10 and available on the platforms that I mentioned at the start of the video. What do you think? I think Atari's doing great making these bite-sized arcade-style gaming experiences. This is a perfect price for a game like this. I love the soundtrack. I'm a big fan of Megan McDuffie, and I think that this is a great fit for the VCS, as well as any platform that you play this on. So what do you think? You going to pick this up? What platform are you going to play it on? In the comments below, let me know. And thank you for coming to my channel. I've covered many other Recharge games. You may want to check it out in my Atari playlist. I cover a lot of Atari actually on my channel as well. Everything from Atari to Xbox, a little bit of retro, a little bit of modern, and a whole bunch of fun. Thank you for coming to my channel. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and click the bell, as I'm uploading videos every week You folks are wonderful and beautiful. Let's keep it positive. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you take care.